Now this is the Merc here. This is my first attempt at a podcast, Google Podcast. And I decided to do this because, this is actually a little different topic for Talkback. Usually we're doing movies and, things in fandom, but this time, look, I'm obviously a big gamer. I've been gaming for many years since I was a little boy, a little kid. So I just thought it'd be good to have a few, podcasts about games. Now, let me just get some things cleaned up here. Give me a second. Let's get some. Okay. Give me a second here. Just making some quick adjustments. Okay. Excellent. Okay, back in business. Right. So today, what I'll be talking about is Pro Evolution Soccer 2017 and FIFA 17 and the great debate. I mean, look, I've done actually two of these. I actually did one of Pro Evo 2009, and I did one Pro Evo 2009 FIFA 09, and I did one again Pro Evo 2014 and FIFA 14. So, I've been having, how long was that? That was 5 years, and now it's been 3 years. Yeah, interesting. So look, I say this, right? I'm just going to get right down to the point here. I play football games a lot, a hell of a lot, actually a little bit too much for my own good, and I would like to think of myself as pretty good at football games. I got to, there was one FIFA I was like ranked like, I don't know, 800 in the world, Pro Evo, the last one, Pro Evo 2016, I actually made it to the top. I got over 800 points, on online divisions, which is what I usually play. And I was like ranked like 1,300 in the European servers or something, which, as anybody would know on Pro Evo, that's pretty damn high. It's out of like 40,000 players, who do online divisions. I was like 1,300, and I'm sure a lot of guys cheat on that thing, because you look at some of these records, guys are cheating. Okay. However, I feel like that qualifies me to actually, give my opinion here. So, here we go. Look, I'd say this, right? I played the Pro Evo demo, the one that got released for Pro Evo 2017, and I wasn't that impressed. I'd say that the 2016 game is probably the best football game I've ever played, the Pro Evo 2016, hands down. It's had a lot of issues, which, I will go into in a separate podcast, which I think would be a podcast, I think, dedicated to the issues of 2016 Pro Evo and what I would have hoped they would change. But now I'm just going to talk about the comparisons of sort of my expectations and preview for the games. But playing it just did not feel as fluid as 2016 was. It didn't feel as organic as the 2016 was. The passing felt a bit raily, and I say raily in the sense of, you press the pass button and it feels as if your passes were sort of being guided in sort of a way. And people would tell me that, oh, you've got to reduce the dependency down to either nothing or one. I was playing it on one, and that's what I usually play on, is pass support one for Pro Evo, and typically that's more than enough removal of supports to give me a good feeling of passing with my own sort of direction and power, but not with this. And even when I put it on manual, then that was just too disconnected. And I typically don't play on manual because I believe that that's too loose, and you don't really get a good feeling of playing a football game, because professional footballers are able to make a pass between two people and not have it go wayward every second. But no, I was looking at it and I'm thinking to myself that, okay, look, visually, and I'll deal with Pro Evo 2017 first. Visually, the jump isn't great. It's not that big from last year. Like, I'm looking at Pro Evo 2016, I'm looking at Pro Evo 2017, and it's not that big a jump visually with graphics at all. The game still looks very cutesy, so to speak. And listen, that's usually been an issue with Pro Evo that they've been able to overcome because the gameplay is so good that you tend to start forgetting that it just looks very cutesy and gaming. But I think that we're moving into a point now that, this is 2017 we're going into. You'd expect that things would have improved a lot more than they have. So that was one thing. But in general, just playing the game, I'm like, this game doesn't feel that much better. The shots were very floaty. You're taking shots in the demo and it's like all floaty. It doesn't feel like it has the oomph and the power and the snappiness that 2016 had. The overall just I don't know what I'm gonna call it, pizzazz of it, but like this was just the whole sharpness of the game just wasn't there. And look, arguably, I would say that typically these games always improve with the final release version versus the demo, because the demo is typically about 9 months old by the time you're playing it. But I don't know how much they're going to be able to improve this game. And flipping over to FIFA, like I've only seen the videos, and look, FIFA to me, the EA are complete rackets. These guys just rob you of your cash, rob you of your money, with the whole Ultimate Team thing, which I'll talk about in a second, which my club has tried to do on Pro Evo, but that's a separate thing. When you look at the graphics of what's going down in FIFA, those graphics with the Frostbite engine are ridiculous. Ridiculous. I saw an image of Sergio Aguero, like there was a Man City something like video that I got posted on YouTube. I'm like, this is ridiculous. These graphics are stupid. Like, this is unbelievable. Then you look at the gameplay and like the way that the players are moving and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, guys, look, FIFA gameplay has never been good. They don't have the individuality. For example, like I can't tell if Aguero's on the ball versus Yaya Toure or Di Michelis or whatever. It just all feels the same. That's very different with Pro Evo. And even with the demo that I don't really like, Pro Evo really has gotten that thing of individual player identity where you feel like this is a different guy to the other guy that I just passed to. FIFA doesn't have that, which is weird because they have all that money and they don't seem to get it through their skulls that they should try and start doing nuances like that. Regardless, though, the graphics are unbelievable. And the game looks like it's snappier. Like I don't know because I haven't played the demo. And we're hearing that the demo is going to be coming out roughly around the same time that Pro Evo gets released, the retail version of Pro Evo. But that's worrying, man, because I don't want to go back to FIFA, but it looks like I'm going to have to go back to FIFA because there's a lot of issues with Pro Evo that I will put in my next video that FIFA doesn't have anymore, to do with the online gameplay, to do with the matchmaking systems, to do with the overall user interface and all that. It's a concern because Pro Evolution, in their efforts to try and match what FIFA are doing with their Ultimate Team and all that stuff, have completely neglected all the other aspects of the game, as I noticed in Pro Evo 2016, in lieu or instead of trying to amp up their My Club, which was crap. Like when I look at all these videos on YouTube where people are doing My Club tactics and all, I'm like, guys, My Club is rubbish. It's garbage compared to Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team got it right the first year. That was like bloody 4 or 5 years ago, where they had a marketplace. You could actually trade players, like a proper, like, trading system. You've got like a stupid roulette, crappy, lucky, hope you get the right player you want thing on My Club. It's such a dumb idea. Like, it just shows people who do not understand what the hell they're doing, which is Pro Evolution's problem from the get-go, I believe, is because you've got Japanese developers who are very talented people, who gameplay-wise have always been ahead of the curve when it comes to them compared to EA. But they seem to have like a very weird sensibility about what makes a game actually work, especially for European buyers. So you get some very, very weird conventions in Pro Evolution that they still haven't fully gotten rid of, that you're just like, whoa, what the hell is this? That being said, like I said, I might have to make the switch because looking at The fact that they've obviously, done this the journey thing, which I think is a waste of time. I'm like, look, you guys, all that time you spent doing this stupid the journey story mode in FIFA, you could have spent to actually put into more effort into the actual game. Because who the hell cares about that stupid? Even the character that they picked is so uninspired and uninspiring. It's just rubbish, like, as far as I'm concerned. That being said, man, that game looks very good. And we know that the servers that EA have always been better. They've always been better than Pro Evo. And they got better, like, to the point that as of a couple of years ago, it is very, very difficult to tell the difference between offline play with FIFA and online play. That's how good the FIFA servers have gotten, that you're getting lag-free gaming online, So if the game was actually just at least better than it is, I don't even know why I'd be playing Pro Evo. Because the amount of frustration I've had with lag, with game drops, with people cheating, the fact that you're only ever playing the same teams over and over and over again is very, 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 very frustrating. Very frustrating indeed, But I'm going to save that for another podcast. I just wanted to say these thoughts about my opinion between the two games. I actually really believe that this is going to be FIFA's year this year, because of the fact that I don't think that Pro Evo have really addressed a lot of the things that they should have addressed when it comes to, improvement of they have improved the graphics, but the graphical improvements, the gameplay remains to be seen, but it doesn't seem like it is as even as snappy as it was last year. The licenses, look, they have improved one thing. I would say that the fact that they've now gotten, apparently I'm hearing, this Batty guy was saying that they've given you the ability to actually have option files that you can share. Thank goodness, finally, that's now in the next generation system. So you're going to be able to get all the right kits and whatever whenever Deimos or whoever makes the option file, which would be helpful. But I just think it's like, it's really a concern for me, because I'm an online divisions guy. I don't mess around with my club and all that crap. If you neglect the basic online gameplay of a game, you don't address all the little things and tell us that, okay, look, all the litany of issues that we had with 2016, we've addressed them, because there's a lot of them. So just listen to my other podcasts, and I'm going to go through all of those things. I've not heard you address those issues at all. One of them being the momentum scripting issue that should not ever, ever, ever make it into online competitive gameplay. It just should not be there. Or at least it should be mitigated. Because once people are playing up to that level and it gets that competitive, the idea that the game engine itself will start working against you is a joke. It is ridiculous. And that is exactly what happens. Very frustrating indeed. But overall, I'm saying I'm giving it to FIFA. All right, I'm giving it to FIFA. And if anybody who disagrees with the Merc, please just leave your comments. But I'm giving it to FIFA this year. I'm looking at these videos. Admittedly, I haven't played the demo yet. I have played the demo of Pro Evo 2017. Very unimpressed. The mere fact that I've not given it that much time shows that, it is whatever. Obviously, the full retail game is going to improve on all the little glitches that I noticed in it. The speed thing, they're talking about one touch and like, oh, the touch. I'm like, guys, just slow the game down. All this stuff about, oh, we've done first touch, which in a weird way makes the game slower. No, guys, keep it simple. The game is too fast. If you want to do it, make it like a sim, slow it down. Because once you slow it down, it forces players to think more about their build-up. If you slow it down to realistic levels of how fast people actually run, it forces you to think more. Having this stupid one touch, which I didn't even notice that much. I mean, yes, okay, so the ball sometimes bounces off your foot. I'm like, big deal. Big deal. Yeah, I noticed in the demo. Big deal. All right, guys, look, that's all I got. I mean, look, the game's going to be coming out next week. I am going to buy both games, so I'm going to update this with my thoughts on the broadcast, on the full version. But till then, it's the Merc here signing out. Bayout Spielberg in. Thanks.